Victor Gao joins us now. He's the chair professor at Soochow University. So, Victor, we saw that Foreign Minister Wang Yi use the word multilateralism a lot. Tell us more about China's role there during this meeting and the other big messages that he wanted to convey.
Thank you very much for having me. Indeed, China sees the world as of today as very much centered around the United Nations, and major countries, small countries, all play a very important role. And this is truly the nature of multilateralism. China is not in favor of any single country dominating above the rest of the countries, and China believes collectivism, cooperation among countries and regions playing a role promoting free trade and development and opposing war of all kind anywhere in the world is the right way going forward for mankind. And I think China's contribution in this world of multilateralism is, first of all, doing its own job at home, maintaining stability and promoting peace, and also exercise its maximum resources to promote trade with all countries, so that China's view of the world is multilateralism based on peace and stability and development, and countries of all sizes and all kinds and of different ideologies can live together, live and let live. That is the world of today and tomorrow that China wants to promote.
That being said, just a few weeks ago, the G7 met in the UK. Will China, or do you think China did counter some of the positions made against it by the United States and others in the West?
Well, compared with G20, G7 is very much like a private club. It was set up to deal with economic and financial issues, but under the pressure of the United States, G7 is forced to become more and more geopolitically oriented, which is actually betraying its original mandate. And also G7, as a private club, more or less, is not representative enough of the world today. G20, on the other hand, is more representative. It represents a very large bulk of GDP in the world, and also it represents 20 countries of different kinds, of different levels of economic development, including both developed countries as well as developing countries, and also of different political system, political values, for example. And I would say when G20 speaks, the world listens more, and when G7 speaks, probably only the G7 leaders cheer themselves, and they tend to forget what the rest of the world wants to listen, and they also forget the most important thing for G7 is to get their own houses in order and do their own homework in terms of beefing up their economic development, improving the living standards of their own people, and also promoting free trade, rather than degenerate into a geopolitical club advocating Cold War, for example, or isolating China, which is a mission impossible and which is detrimental to world peace and development. So let's focus more on G20 and let G7 cheer themselves.
This foreign ministers meeting laying the groundwork for the big leaders meeting in October in Italy. What are the prospects, you think, for China and the U.S. to meet on the sidelines of that G7 leaders meeting? And how would you read into that if it happened? Do you think that's trying to happen? Do you think that's being worked on as we speak?
I personally do hope President Biden and President Xi Jinping of China will have a chance to meet before the end of this year. If they can meet either in Washington or in Beijing, that will be even better. If they cannot travel to China or the United States, and if they meet in a third country or on the sideline of a major international event like the G20 meeting, that's not bad enough. I believe the more they meet, the better they will contribute to their mutual understanding of each other, and also China's understanding of the United States, and vice versa. I would say in the world of today, between China and the United States, war is not and should not be an option, because war will lead to Armageddon, the destruction of both China and the United States, and the destruction of world peace and development. China and the United States need to figure out a way to get along with each other, to understand each other, and to the extent possible, to promote each other, rather than, for example, isolate each other. I've come up with a view that there will be inevitable peace between China and America, rather than inevitable war, because war will lead to Armageddon, and peace between China and the United States will lead to greater happiness of the Chinese people and the American people, and greater stability and development of the world. That's how a sideline meeting between President Biden and President Xi Jinping at the G20 in Italy will be a very positive sign. Let's hope for the best.